All right, my friends, I'm coming to you live from the hallway outside the president's office. Just saw him walk by for a very special version of the 5-Minute Museum, Tuesdays at 2, here at Oglethorpe University. I'm the Museum Director Elizabeth Peterson. I'm really glad to be here with you. I'm going to be a little bit quiet and a little bit quick. We're looking at this beautiful screen print behind me, which I'm going to get a little closer now that everybody is in their meeting. There are two screen prints here called Huelles I and II footprints. And this is a series of screen prints by the artist Maria Cristina Tavera, who exhibited at the museum at Oglethorpe last year. And I was lucky enough to get to know her throughout the pandemic. She's an incredible individual who is based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. She has both American and Mexican citizenship. I hope that she's watching right now. But she had spent her childhood traveling transnationally between the U.S. and Mexico, and that has informed a lot of her work. So footprints, as you can see, is actually human footprints. It's also footprints of pollos, of chickens, and also probably also of coyotes, although she doesn't mention that in her information about this. There is a lot of work that she does that talks about coyotes and chickens, because that's the not particularly lovely, but terminology that's sometimes used a little bit disparagingly regarding people who are crossing the border and those who are facilitating that. The coyotes who are facilitating that. So it was back in mid-February that I reached out to her in 2020, in the before time when we had no idea how the world would change in so many ways, particularly in Minneapolis. And I really, really appreciate Tina Tavera. I appreciate her work in social justice, which she has been doing and which we've tried to do for many years. But I also really appreciate her friendship through this crazy experience, because we both determined that we would do the show, come, anything, and a lot came. And in fact, it informed some of her work and discussions around that, and became like a lifeline, frankly, to me throughout this experience, knowing her and doing a show with her last year. So she has responded to both the crisis of Black Lives Matter and also the crisis of the pandemic with some new work, digital work, and I highly recommend that you check her work out. Much of her work also deals with issues of immigration, of nationality, also ethnicity, race. She weaves in all kinds of references to history, both her own personal history of people who have emigrated and immigrated, and also kitsch references, pop culture references. She's printmaking, installations, and also painting. We exhibited her prints. And of course, there's a huge history of social justice work in printmaking. And of course, the big three, Rivera, Siqueiros, and Tamayo had, and Orozco had definitely done work in social justice issues, the three famous Mexican painters and printmakers, and also muralists, and she does as well. And Tina also, she studied Spanish and Latin American studies as an undergrad and as a master's in leadership in art, which she certainly is a leader. I also happen to know she does incredible things to help people with food insecurity, and is just a good all-around human, and works with first-generation underrepresented students at Augsburg University as well. About this particular piece, and we've got it in as a diptych, 1 and 2, and forgive me for my slight shake of the hands here as we're live on site, but she says, quote, "Border Patrol follows footprints as physical evidence left by a person traversing an area. Among the human footprints are markings from chickens crossing. Pollos also is a term signifying the humans without documentation who receive help to cross the border. People can leave all kinds of footprints, including statistical records, namely in birth, death, school enrollment, housing, and other records." So that incredible long tradition of social activism is alive and well in the work of Tina Tavera, who I am proud to say is a friend, and I'm very excited that we were able to acquire some of her pieces for the collection, particularly now as we're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Thanks, everybody, and tune in next week for, right around the corner here, we've got a work by Julio Antonio, who's a Cuban American, and John will be telling you about that. Take care. Bye.